Holy cannoli, kids, I'm Mario, and I'm telling you, if you're not watching the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, you're gonna turn into a Goomba.
30 years after the release of the original Super Mario Bros. Movie, Illumination has stepped up to take a crack at an animated adaptation of the beloved video game series. Teaming up with directors Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelenic, the team behind 2018's Teen Titans Go to the Movies, Illumination and Nintendo have in fact gotten people to the movies, as the Super Mario Bros. Movie is breaking all the box office records, which we'll get into in a bit. The movie stars Chris Pratt as the titular Mario, Charlie Day as Luigi, Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, and Jack Black as Bowser. He finds the Mario brothers magically transported to the Mushroom Kingdom, where Mario teams up with Princess Peach and Donkey Kong in order to stop the tyrannical Bowser and to rescue his brother Luigi. Let's start with some pros for the movie, the biggest being the animation style. Illumination is the studio best known for the Despicable Me franchise, as well as the Minions, Secret Life of Pets, and Sing movies. And while those are very good and delightful movies, the animation, I wouldn't necessarily say is anything amazing, but it's definitely not bad. I would say that Illumination definitely stepped up their game with the Mario Brothers movie and made the worlds feel very real. Another big pro was Brian Tyler's score, which took a lot of inspiration from the video game series throughout the entire catalog of music that they have. And I hope that what happened with Tar, with the music already being created and not being eligible for original score, does not happen with this movie, because I thought that Brian Tyler added a lot more to these scores instead of just playing off the originals. Another big pro was definitely the voice cast. I thought that everyone did an excellent job. I know that there was a lot of controversy around Chris Pratt's casting, and when you hear it in the movie, you know, it's not anything incredible, but it's definitely serviceable for the movie, and after about 5 minutes, you don't even kind of think about it anymore. I would say the real standout performance and the standout character of the whole movie is definitely Jack Black's Bowser. He was giving it his all. Now, don't get me wrong, Charlie Day's casting as Luigi and Seth Rogen's casting as Donkey Kong are perfect, but, however, they are just doing their regular, normal voices.
I was very clear I don't do voices, and if you want me to be in this movie, he's gonna sound like me.
Which are iconic, but do work for the characters, but Jack Black was really just giving 110% out there. Lastly, it is a Mario movie, and as someone who grew up loving all those video games and still playing them, it was so cool to see it adapted into the big screen and to be able to go into a theater and just watch a Mario movie. Now let's go into the cons of the movies. While I don't think there are that many cons to it, the ones that are there I think stand out significantly. The first being the pacing of the movie. The movie moves at a breakneck speed, which doesn't really allow you a lot of time to get to develop and learn the characters as well as in the locations. And in doing so, the movie prioritizes more references and Easter eggs more than actually just letting you exist in the universe. Now granted, it is really cool to see like Bowser's Castle, Mushroom Kingdom, Donkey Kong Land, and everything like that, but you really don't spend more than maybe 5 or 10 minutes in there. So I hope moving forward, if this movie does get a sequel, which I highly anticipate based off of its box office, I would like to spend a little more time in one location to really get to exist in the world. This last part isn't really a con, but was just something I felt a little awkward in the movie, and that was the needle drops. While Brian Tyler's score is absolutely fantastic throughout, there were certain scenes that just had actual needle drops in them, which it was good song choices except for Holding Out for a Hero, which has become really popular in media lately, and I think we need to just put a pause on it, especially since Shrek 2 already did it perfect. But it didn't really necessarily take me out of the movie as much just feel out of place within the scenes that they were put. Let's take a look now at its box office numbers. So I have a graph pulled up here. The domestic box office total right now is $240,201,260, with the international box office being $172,867,916, which leads us to a global worldwide box office total of $413,069,176. Let's take a look now at some of the box office records it's been smashing that I mentioned earlier. Get it? Smash. That was bad. Let's cut that. Let's take a look now at those box office records I mentioned earlier. It is currently the highest grossing debut of 2023, already surpassing Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which had $106 million. Also currently the highest grossing debut for Illumination, surpassing 2015's Minions. And it's the highest grossing debut for a video game adaptation, surpassing 2022's Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Fun fact about this movie too, it has already surpassed the entire box office of the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie in its opening week. Internationally, it's Illumination's biggest opening of all time, as well as the biggest video game opening of all time, and the second biggest animated movie opening of all time. Finally, globally, it's the biggest opening of 2023. It is the highest Illumination opening of all time. It is the biggest video game adaptation opening of all time, and is the highest animated opening weekend ever for IMAX. So for my ratings, I'm going to be using the Letterboxd 5-star system, and I am giving the Super Mario Bros. Movie 3 out of 5 stars. Speaking of Letterboxd, if you want to talk movies with me around the internet, feel free to follow my socials, which are linked in the description. Have you seen the Super Mario Bros. Movie? If so, what did you think? Let me know in the comments, and if you like what you saw here today, feel free to subscribe and talk movies with me.